Hey, what's up? I just kind of wanted to give an update on this M4 military and how it's been going. This is still not going to be the review. I just kind of want to give you some impressions and some of my thoughts on the M4 steel. One thing M4 steel does very, very well is hold an edge, and it stays very tough. Now, one thing that I knew going into this M4 run here was that it is not corrosion resistant. It is not a stainless steel. It will stain and will rust or surface rust on you fairly quickly. And you can see right here, I had zero protection on this. Absolutely no oil at all. And I probably should have. Probably should have just used some of this mineral oil. Just a little wipe on the blade. Would have been good to go. Would have protected the blade. And would have still been food safe. Now I can try to remove all this, maybe with some flits. You see some rust happening in here, and you can see some surface marks on the actual blade itself. Hopefully. Of course I record with my iPhone, so it's kind of doing funny things with the lighting here. Maybe you can see this. And this is not to bust on Spyderco at all, not to bust on M4 at all. I knew all this going in, that it was not a stainless steel, and I am pretty careless in my knife use. Not careless per se, but I have 4 children. So my knife use may be cutting up an apple and setting my kids' dishes up, getting their food. Meanwhile the knife's sitting here with juices all over it. Or like if you guys seen me cut up them vegetables for the meatloaf, I may cut up something and then kind of put the knife to the side and then mix up that meatloaf with my hands, and then pat it down, do all that. Meanwhile, this knife's sitting here the whole time covered in onion juices and other stuff. That didn't happen in the video, but in a regular, everyday cut scenario for me, if food is involved, usually I don't get to this blade very fast to wash it off. M4, I'm going to have to start being more mindful of how long, it sits with the stuff on the blade. But, I don't know. I don't quite know for sure yet if the trade-off is worth it. The M4 does seem to hold an edge forever, and I would say, I don't know the specs on the steel compositions for, this is the S90V. This is a stainless, and I treat this knife the same way as I was treating my M4 Millie, and you can see there's some scratches and stuff, but there's no stains or anything like that. So I think it's hard to say yet, but I do prefer a stainless steel for everyday use. Not to say I don't enjoy this and enjoy learning about M4 and using M4. Just know that if you're sitting out there looking at your M4, you're thinking about getting M4, just be mindful of how long your food juices sit on the blade, and also be mindful of how much oil you have. There's a lot of different things you can use, even different sort of waxes. There's not that many protectants that are food safe. You pretty much want to stay with mineral oil. A friend of mine told me he uses Pam cooking spray. I'm not sure. I'm sure Pam has a bunch of different sprays. The one we have is canola oil, and that will go rancid over time, or that mineral oil will not. So I kind of like mineral oil the best if you're going to use for food. There's probably lots of better options if you're not going to use your knife with, food. If you don't need your protectant to be food safe. So let's just do that macro one more time. Other impressions of the steel. Holds an edge. Great. Very tough. I did that tire cut, and it still has not been touched up yet. You can still see the factory edge on here. And you can hear it. Maybe. Still Still biting into my thumb pad here. Very sharp. I am going to reprofile this soon because that Mule, if this M4 is anything like the Mule M4, has a very, very fine grain structure and will take a very, very, very sharp edge. Like, almost unlike anything I've ever sharpened and played with. And I've played with a bunch of different steels. But M4 is right on the upper echelon of sharpness for steels. I don't know if it's the grain structure or the composition of how it's all put together, but it will get insanely sharp, especially at a polished edge. So yeah, that's pretty much it. M4, great steel. For me, I don't think it's going to be a great EDC steel just because I'm pretty careless and, you know, with my kids and stuff, I can't really peel up an apple and then worry about my knife and then go take care of my kids. Like, I have to peel my apple, go take care of the kids, and then get back to cleaning up. So, you know, just don't use this knife on the apple, you know, or keep some oil on it, and that would be the solution. So, I think I'm going to just try to clean this up, maybe with some flits, and just keep some of that mineral oil on it. There's no permanent damage, I don't think. There's no pits or anything like that. This is all just surface stuff. So just keep that in mind when you use your M4. You know, just keep some sort of protectant on it. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.